close to his mic.
All righty. Thank you for bearing with us. We're back from closed session. There's no formal action is necessary pursuant to closed session. Number 6, public comment. Council's intention is to preserve the level of respect, courtesy, and civility required to successfully conduct the public's business. In this regard, the council should be addressed during public participation as a collective body and not individual members. In order to respect the speaker's time, council members will not engage in a dialogue or debate with the speaker. However, council members should feel free to ask the speaker a question or questions once recognized by the council president for purposes of clarification. Council members can offer comments on the speaker's remarks once the speaker has concluded his or her comments in the allotted 5-minute time frame. Also, I want to keep in mind, and I've said this the past couple council meetings, we're all neighbors in the room. So if everybody would please, kind of look to your left and right, shake hands, say hello this evening to each other, and make sure we treat everybody in the audience with civility and respect for their questions as well. No shouting from the back row, anything like that. Yeah, I know, it's fun, right? But whoever would like to be first this evening, come up, state your name, address, and we'll get started.
Marty Graf Wenger, Mount Laurel, New Jersey. Good evening, everyone. I am Marty Graf Wenger, president of the BMIA, and I'm here to share some fabulous updates, and I promise not to bore you with anything too serious. First off, we had a sold-out paint party with the fabulous Debbie King. It was such a blast that I'd say we painted the town, literally. A good time was had by all, and congratulations to Barbara Roberts for winning the huge door prize basket. Just remember, Barbara, because I know you're listening, we expect you to share some of the goodies. Sharing is caring. Next, save the date, folks. On Sunday, May 25th, we'll be hosting our picnic yard sale at the BMIA building. Just a hop, skip, and a jump from Mirror Lake. We'll have free tables for our members to sell their unwanted treasures. We'll also be serving hot dogs, chips, and soda from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. If you are not a member yet, don't worry. Tables are just $10. But membership is a steal at only $15 per family per year, covering your whole family, even your grandchildren. On June 6th, join us for the 50 sock hop dance at 7 p.m. Now, you don't have to dress up like you just stepped out of a time machine, but it sure would be hilarious to see poodle skirts and leather jackets, just saying. We'll have music, snacks, and punch, just like those awkward school dances, but with fewer bad pickup lines. And don't forget our graduation luncheon on June 22nd at 2 p.m. We're celebrating the achievements of our members, graduates from preschool, 8th grade, or high school. We'll have some impressive monetary gifts for graduates, but please let us know by June 10th, that's our cutoff, so we can ensure that no deserving student is left out. I'm also excited about the Water Carnival on July 12th at 6 p.m. We have just registered our float at the BMIA and also a table for our amazing t-shirts, which I'm wearing one right now. So plan your family barbecue for that day because nothing says summer like grilling meat while enjoying fireworks and cheering on your favorite float as it passes by. Oh, and I have some splendid news. Our beloved Pine Knots column in the esteemed Pine Barrens Tribune has returned. You can find it gracing page 7, offering delightful glimpses into our community's vibrant tapestry. Each month, we will shine a light on the exceptional happenings that make our corner of the world so unique, From talented musicians to dedicated community leaders, we aim to celebrate the individuals who contribute to our charm. So keep a keen eye on the Tribune, and who knows, we might just mention you or someone you know in our column. As summer approaches, the BMIA will take a brief break, but we'll come back in August with a planning session that will cover everything from school board elections to community projects and, of course, our fun Friday night events. We're always looking for new board members, so if you have a penchant for making things better or a knack for baking cookies, we want you to join our board. So if you want to get involved in improving Browns Mills or just want to talk about how we can make our events even better, please see me after the meeting or text me at 609-388-1305. You can also email the BMIA at bmiaorg@gmail.com. Thank you for all your support as usual, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.
Anybody else?
You know you want to talk, Mark.
Good evening. My name is Mark Thomas, and I live on Northwoods Road at 35 in the New Lisbon section of Pemberton Township. I wanted to address the issue of Burlington County College. I call it Burlington County College. It's Rowan College of Burlington County. But my feeling about the college, and I think this is something that comes from let's say, the township's long-suffering experience with the college itself in leaving it as a detriment to the community and a tremendous loss of both community and educational capital, is that I think that the township itself should have input into how the plans go ahead. And I know that the county is keeping a very close what would you call it? They're controlling the information, and it's going to take a long time relating to the removal of the buildings, et cetera, et cetera. But I think because this process is going to be so protracted, and I would say maybe 2 to 5 years, it is important for we, the citizens, to constitute a group dedicated to canvassing the entire township as to what the people of the township feel is in the best interest of the people. And so to that end, I am interested in forming a committee with that objective in mind. And I think that there are many people who will serve well as leaders, and we have the ability to solicit information and get people together. Because we know through our input here that the individuals who have been faithful and vigilant and of great advocacy have changed the course of what has happened over the last 3 years. And we basically, it was sort of like watching a truck heading for a cliff, and we all got behind, we all were exerting all kinds of influences, and the truck stopped with one wheel over the edge, and et cetera. But that would be one thing that I think is imperative, and I think you will hear of the efforts that go on, because it has to start now so that we can build the capital and the momentum to exert an influence into what happens there. And number two, and this is completely away from anything related to township business, but I feel it important right now in the spring, before the fall comes around, to announce or to say that as a family physician of 40 years and as a person who is very skilled in public health and the discipline of epidemiology, that the word immunization is something I'm going to talk about, because immunization represents one of the greatest influencers in increasing the lifespan of this country over the last 100 years. And so to the degree that immunizations are bandied about, and if there's fake news coming around, you have to be careful about what you say about immunizations. And so I am a person who I like to think is independent-minded. Clearly, I have some biases. But as far as public health is concerned, public health is an absolute value, and I take very seriously how I speak about this. And so if there are people who have concerns about what they hear, I can provide a direction to resources that will help people to understand the issues involved. I'm not taking a stand right now. I'm just saying that immunizations will continue to play a role in dividing the public. And what I want to do is to provide information that will help residents to make decisions based on facts and what studies have said. So to that end, I'm interested in the public health of every person in this township. And so I stand ready as a layperson, but an educated layperson. If people have questions, they should feel free to ask me, and I will provide information that is independent of political intrigue. Thank you.
Josh, can I say something about that? Sure. Mr. Thomas, I know you go to a lot of the county meetings as well as Mr. Harper. My question was, I know they're talking about the demolition of the college coming up. Would you happen to know if that is going to include, if they're talking about turning this back to nature, the thousands and thousands of yards of bituminous concrete that's all around that building?
I do not.
Sorry, asphalt for everybody else.
I do not know.
Don't know? I mean, it would just seem like, a common sense thing, part of the demolition, if they're going to return this to nature. I mean, those big open parking lots and everything, they're never going to be able to grow with all that on there.
Yeah, I do know right now, and I was just told today, that the Pinelands is hearing the county's request to demolish the buildings and property. And I know that the county has to be careful how they demolish it, because if they go back to virgin ground and then they want to build something back, the Pinelands is going to make them start from square one. So I'll be at the Pinelands meeting on Friday to see how much information I can get.
Okay. Thanks, sir.
No problem.
Thanks, Mark.
Good evening, gentlemen. Before we begin, I'm going to hand you guys some papers. Four out of five. All right, gentlemen, I don't want to take too much of your time up on what I handed you. Those two I created myself. They're beautiful resolutions. The first one is condemning the mayor for, violating the Faulkner Act for, restricting power to the acting mayor. I think you guys should definitely take a look at that. I think it's important that we hold people accountable, even if it just means condemning them again. I don't know how many times you can condemn a person, but a second time probably does the charm. And the second paper jumps off of that, and it basically authorizes your solicitor to investigate the mayor for violating the Faulkner Act. And, just getting all the facts together and compiling a report, and then sending that report out to the proper authorities, which would probably be the prosecutors and probably the State Attorney General's office. All right, so just wanted to touch quick on that. Secondly, I'm going to talk about the resolutions real quick here. Your guys' resolutions, not mine. Of course, I think mine are pretty nice. But, excuse me, the pollen's terrible outside. I would say yes to Resolution 146, 2025. 147, 2025. I just want to know how much money we're going to be moving into the different account for the oh my, I'm so sorry. We just rushed here. The tax sale. How much money are we putting into the fund there? I mean, we got to pretty much move money somehow. I just want to know a dollar amount. 148, 2025. Yes, absolutely. Our canines work very hard out in the field, and I follow Canine Pepper on Instagram, and she seems to be a very good girl in arresting the bad guys, and I think that we need to reward our canine officers and their dogs. 149, 2025, yes. For Resolution 150, 2025, how much are we going to be paying for the 1-year extension of the contract for hauling the sludge from the sewer facility?
It's in the resolution, and it's a minimal amount more. I forget the amount.
It is? I don't see a dollar amount on mine. Oh. Okay. Okay, I was about to say, I don't see. Oh, 147? Oh, 148? Okay. 151, 2025. Could you guys explain that a little bit more? Yeah. 152, 2025. I just have a question. Is there a 3-month extension that's covered by the grant that, the 2023 grant that we're, asking for an extension for? Does the grant cover the 3-month extension? 153, 2025, yes. 154, 2025, yes. 155, 2025. I just want to know what's being modified. For new business, A and B, yes. And for number 9, what's the most expensive thing on the bill list for this council meeting? Anything really expensive? And that's it. Sorry, gentlemen, for the appearance. I'm very hot in here.
Perry, you want to handle the one you said you did?
As far as 151, that authorizes membership participation in Cranford Police Cooperative Pricing System. What that does is it allows the police department to go to who they need to go to or who they want to go to make a purchase, and it guarantees them the lowest price at the state contract price. Usually what happens with the township, if it's over X amount of dollars, they have to go out for bid. They have to wait for the bids to come in, which delays the buying of capabilities as far as speediness to get what they need. What this does is allows them to go to the seller and say, we're on the list, so we get the guaranteed lowest, we get the state contract price. Because even if you go out for 3 bids, you're not going to get any lower than the state contract price. So that's what that allows them to go do right in the beginning so they can move forward.
Okay, thank you.
And then as far as 152 and 155, Alex, they kind of go hand in hand. From what I was told from the head of the Public Works, the 3-month extension is basically because we switched engineers this year, so they need time to hand off, let the new engineers take over. And what did you want to know about 155? The scope of work?
What's being modified?
Yeah, they think they can do more than what they thought with the money they have. They're, until the new engineers take over and rework everything, but they think they can do a little more road footage, with the money they got from the state for the grants. So they have to, recalculate everything, yeah. But that's basically what those are, okay?
And what's the most expensive thing on the bill list tonight?
I-
The
I-
bill list, what's the most expensive item that we're paying for tonight?
Tax payments.
Oh, really? How much? Oh, man. I'm so sorry, gentlemen. Oh, oh, my. That's not chump change. Have a good one, guys. Oh. Thank you for that.
Anybody else for public comment? America Phillips.
Good evening, everybody in general. I feel that we are in limbo because we don't have nobody on this side. Those empty chairs, only they can answer. Will be nice. Okay. My first thing I'm going to touch is in reference to the leaf collection. Like I say, I walk every day and I see. I even went in next door today and notify the people, yes, please call, because they gotta come and pick it up, the leaf. The resident across the street from my house, she called a week and a half ago, and she still got all her pollen there. And I know they haven't seen more than that, but I see the truck once in a while. I don't know what is going on. To me, how did we work in the past? We didn't have no problem. Don't ask me who changed that. Making an appointment and call this and call that. People are very busy. They are working. They're not sitting at home like in a lot of our retired people. Even I'm retired, but still I'm moving every day, okay? I never home. Well, anyway, will be nice if they go back the same way it was before. They have, during the year, they say maybe not twice a year they do the pickup, or once a year, and they put the months. Automatic, we know. Pick it up, all the bag of the leaves. The worst part it is that we have to bag the stupid leaves. That's a lot of work and a lot of money what we got to pay for, number one. Okay, number two, I'm going to shop in front, in the entrance. It's very nice that they clean the entrance for the residents because they are a taxpayer and they deserve that. But I put a sign and I call the public work in the past. Do not go in my flowers bed. I was so upset this afternoon when I went took a walk and see in my all the seeds. I put it on it, they coming out. Well, the township went with a weed whacker. We whack everything in there. They look nice and everything. I just want it. I will call them tomorrow. And I have a sign. Please do not go in my flower bed. It's neither you guys just clean all around. But do not go in the flower bed. I even went and bought more flower seed this afternoon. I put it on it. But they had chewed it up, and it said, because those flowers, they were coming up right now. Okay, the third, I'm going to touch up. I know that the first thing the township is going to tell me, this side of the chair, and I know, Route 530 East and Route 70 all belong to the three places. What they did for us, the engineer who designed that for the state, they didn't do us a favor. They put the nails on the coffins right now. Sunday I went to church, and the way back, I took the road. The stop sign, they crushed the stop sign, they left all the pieces of the car in there, every single day or week, they have an accident there. I'm going to make an appointment with the chief of police. I need a report when I go to the commissioners meeting and present that to them. They told me that they waiting for answer for the state. That's the county. We are Pemberton, we are county, we are a state. And it's sad because the next thing will be crosses in there. So many accidents in there been. And for me to prove that to them, I'm going to make an appointment with the chief of police. And I want a report for them. And I can, yes, present it to them. There's nothing, I just make the story. Now, in reference, thank you, Mark, for the, when you spoke in reference to the Burlington County College. Yes, I spoke in reference to the Burlington County College in the last meeting I was in the commissioner meeting. I know it's too early for them to decide what they're going to do there. I asked them what they got in mind. They say they do not know. Okay, and we gotta push that the best we can, the best interest for our township, because they are in our township, and we want to know what is coming in there. And thank you.
Hi, Valerie Aurora, Pemberton Road. I'm here for a couple of reasons. One, Dewey, that is not here, said he missed me, so I came. I've been watching on YouTube and stuff like that, so I'm trying to stay up to date. But just like I don't go to Southampton meetings, when I feel confident in the people that are in charge, I don't feel the need to be here harassing you. You guys are doing a great job, and so far we haven't had anybody come in for business and that we have to rally again for to try to make Pemberton nice. So, I appreciate what you guys are doing, and if you don't see me, it's because I don't have to come up here and raise hell. But they say they need me, and I'm here again. Or if you say you miss me, I'll come visit. But I did have a couple other things to say. Give me half a second. I like that you have the Zoom going on. I appreciate that. I don't know if it's Zoom or just YouTube, where I could watch it. I could get up to date. I don't know what's going on with the mayor, but it's very nice not seeing him. That's all. All right, thanks.
Anybody else for public comment?
Good evening.
Good evening, Michelle.
Hi. Hi. Great to see everybody tonight. I have to agree. Well, I have to say that I miss Dan Dewey here. I really can't believe he's not here. I really miss him a lot. So, Valerie, he's not the only one who misses you. We miss seeing you too. I always call her the sweetheart of the rodeo. Okay, so, I hope I don't get in trouble for this, but, Mr. Ward, were you supposed to go over some mapping things with us today from the last meeting? It's okay if you forgot, or you're gonna do it another night.
Michelle, I definitely forgot. I'm sorry. I've had a lot going on, but I will get
Oh.
it done at the next meeting. I promise you. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry for everybody else
that's
that's here.
But
No,
I was
that's
looking
okay.
forward to, I have my maps in my bag. I got-
Well, hold on.
It's all good. No, it's fine.
Hold on, Michelle. Is it possible? It'll be next meeting, and it'll be first thing, I promise. I'll do
Oh,
it myself,
okay.
okay?
Okay.
I'm so very sorry.
Oh, that's okay, no problem. Hey,
You're not going to get in trouble for that. It's okay.
oh, boy. All right, so, okay. Then, oh, I wanted to say, Marty coming up here, giving you all these announcements. She's so amazing. She remembers all these. She spits them out at every meeting. No, she's so gracious. I didn't mean to say it like that. She just remembers all these dates, and I can't even imagine. I have to have a calendar, and America helps me with my calendar, and I have to write everything down. I just want to say, Marty, if it's okay, that she's doing a great job. I'm so proud of her for getting in the newspaper on page 7. If you saw it, if you haven't seen it, I have a paper for you. Let me know. On page 7, it's called Pine Knots. So she has an article, and it's very beautiful. She is exquisite the way she says her words, let me tell you. And I want to say, I was at the art class. It was a blast. I was at the garden club meeting. I was at the movie, got to meet her children, and I just want to say that she is doing a great job. And I know I said it before, but I know her grandparents, I remember them, and I know they're proud of her right now, and we all are. So, yeah. Yeah, and so, question, is it possible for us to make an ordinance or a resolution for the mayor to pay that $50,000 that the taxpayers are going to have to pay? I'm just wanting to know if that's an option, yes or no. It doesn't have to be a long, drawn-out. I just want it's a simple question. I just want a simple answer. But before you answer, I have one more thing. I know they like us to, one more thing. Okay, or unless you want to answer it real quick, go ahead. Okay. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to say is about the 5 warehouses again. Does anybody know when it's going to go back to the planning board? But the judge ordered it to go back to the planning board, right?
No, but I'll answer both of those questions.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, I just want to say that the judge said that, I'm sorry, I'm not really getting this right here. Okay, I'm just going to say it like this. I was told it might go back to the planning board. It's back to another judge. Could we appeal that another judge saying, no, we want it to go back to the planning board? Can we appeal that?
Is that your
Can
last-
we make an appeal that we already said no? The planning board said no. The town council said no. I know you said we have to let them legally go back to the planning board, but I just want to say that how much credence do you all have to give to the public, who hundreds of us went to those meetings saying we don't want these 5 warehouses? So there's my 2 questions, and I'm going to be quiet and hear what you have to say.
The question concerning a resolution or an ordinance, the township adopted a resolution to settle the case. My recollection is that the resolution was critical of the mayor because this was the mayor, a lot of it pointed to the mayor. We don't have, you can prepare any kind of resolution of protest, but we don't have the right, under these circumstances, to order the mayor to pay the $50,000.
Oh, okay,
And there was a question about the warehouses, I think.
yeah.
The case is still in the appellate division. I expect that maybe by the summer, we'll get a decision from the appellate division. It's not yet been remanded back to the planning board. we've asked the appellate division to remand it back to the planning board.
To,
State-
to do what? Remand?
To send it back to
I
the
don't know
planning
what
board.
remand means, but resend it back?
Yeah.
You asked them to?
We did. Stay tuned. We don't know yet. We'll wait for the decision.
But why did you ask them to bring it back to the planning board?
Because
Because they already said no.
the approval from the town, or from the planning board, was conditioned upon them getting out to Birmingham through that right-of-way. They need that's a planning board decision, but they need the township council's approval to do that. And the township council said, we're not going to do that.
Right.
So at this point, our position is they can't meet the condition of the approval,
Right.
okay? So it can't be approved.
But even it was perfectly approved, the people have been going to the meeting saying, we don't want these 5 warehouses there. Does that hold any weight in the decisions that you guys are making? Because we don't want them there.
I'm sure that the message from the public has an impact on the council people, sure. But it doesn't have an impact on the judge. So that's where we are.
All right, let me think about it again. All right, I'm going to keep bringing this up. Do you know when yeah, because I don't want these warehouses. Do you know when in the summertime the date of the court date is or anything?
No, I don't.
Okay.
We don't have that yet, Michelle.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Michelle, maybe one little explanation here might be able to help you understand something. When we keep saying going back to the planning board, what that means is basically the 5 warehouses that were presented, as they presented their drawings and their application to build. They have to go back to the planning board if that application is shot down. What that means is they have to basically start all over again. So they would have to reapply from jump. So any application would have to be modified so that they wouldn't need to come in off of Birmingham Road if that's one of the things that's shooting them down. So when they say sending it back to the planning board, it basically, in essence, Jerry, am I wrong? It's basically a way of saying they would have to start all over again.
Yeah. Council, that's right.
And basically, the way it's the same as if you were trying to build a house, and the house you wanted to build, you made an application to the planning board, and the planning board says, well, this isn't going to work. So you have the right, because you can build a house there, to start all over again and reapply to the planning board again. Does that make any
There's
sense?
absolutely nothing we can do to stop that. We can't say, hey, yo, we had meeting after meeting after meeting, hundreds of people, and we're going to give credence to what the public says, and we don't run it back to the planning board. Are you saying that would not be an option?
The only option would be, as far as the public goes, to voice your opposition again if there were a new application.
Oh, go back to the planning board again and again?
Correct.
Another public meeting.
It'd be another public meeting for everything from the start, just like they started 2 years ago.
Okay,
It
so
would
there's-
start all over
There's
again.
no other option. We can't appeal them, bringing it back. Is that what you're saying?
No.
No
They
other
have the
op-
right to do it.
No other option?
Right now, we're hoping for a good decision from the appellate division, which we will know about this summer,
Okay.
and then that'll be the next step.
Okay, we'll see. We all been fighting to stop all this development, so I'm going to make sure I know what's going on. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Doyle. Thank you.
Anybody else for public comment this evening?
Evening, Council.
Evening?
James Boland, 226 Filbert Avenue. And I'm actually wondering how to start off with what I want to talk about, because once I say what I'm talking about, I think a lot of people have preformed opinions on the matter, and so people, tend to stay with their opinions. But I've gotten a little information recently, and I think that I might be able to present this in a fresh light. So what I want to talk about is nothing more than TNR and stray cats, which is not big on anybody's. It's not big on my priority list. It's not the biggest problem in town, but it is a problem. I mean, it's a problem that anybody I talk to will readily admit that we do have a stray cat problem in town. Some areas more so than others. I happen to live in one of the areas where I'm told, James Boland, stop sending us cats. You're sending us too many. And I'm a guy who traps cats, right? So I'll start off by saying that. And some people think that's cruel, and some people think that's mean. I think it's actually humane, and I'm of that mindset from having talked to people in animal control and at the shelters. And the bottom line with it is, if you don't do anything, stray cats will overpopulate. They will cause problems for us, but they'll also cause problems for themselves, and they'll have kittens in the winter. They get hit by cars and things. They don't live as long as domesticated cats. A feral cat will maybe live half as long, and they starve out there. So I want to say that, it's actually humane to trap cats. But the problem is when you trap them and you take them to the shelter, they get full. And when they get full, there's nothing they can do. We don't have a no-kill shelter option. I mean, it's a regular old shelter. And so if they get full, that's it. So that doesn't sound ideal either. And then you have people who have cats that just bother them, and they say, I don't care, I just want the cats off my property, just get them off the property. I hear that when I talk to the people at the shelter. But the thing is you can't really satisfy them ever, because you could trap cats and take the cats away, but they'll keep coming back, and even if you get the one cat off that person's property, another cat will come. That person's not gonna like TNR, because TNR means that you trap the cats, you neuter them, and then you release them back so that they're going to keep coming on that guy's property. He's going to say, that same black cat keeps coming here. They're going to say, yeah, well, he's neutered. Well, he doesn't care that he's neutered. He's still coming on the property. But the fact that he's neutered means that he's not coming back to the property with his kids and grandkids. And so then, the whole thing is, how do we do it? And I used to have conversations with Dave Patriarca, and I've had conversations with people at Animal Control over the years, and the thing is, you do need volunteers to make it work. You need community volunteers. And so, who better than the people who already like feeding the cats? And I thought, what if there were a way to have some kind of outreach program to really reach out to these people? I can supply you names and addresses, but I mean, we could also just look at it as maybe targeting an area where it's known to have stray cat problem, just kind of send out to the residents, and they might say, hey, my neighbor likes to feed cats. Let me talk to my neighbor about maybe calling this number. And you can set it up. So what I wanted to say is basically kind of three concrete things about that. One is Bordentown does it. Bordentown does have a TNR ordinance, and the people at the animal shelter say it's very successful. So I think that's worth looking at maybe. The other thing is that, what is the other thing? My brain's. So when it comes to implementing it, how do you do it? There is an organization out there that's equipped to help, because I don't know the first thing about starting it. I really don't. I would help how I could. I would do what I can. I know my daughter loves cats. She would like to help. But to actually set it up from scratch, I couldn't tell you. But the people who can tell you would be, there's an organization called Friends of Burlington County Animal Shelter, and they work directly with the animal shelter, so they know all about how to get it started. And I talked to Ms. Haynes at the shelter, and she would be glad to help anybody. Erica Haynes, she's great, and she can get everybody started here. Call this number, call these people, they'll help you out. So it'd be really nice if we could do that. And the other thing I wanted to say is, I heard a rumor that someone, I got to wrap it up. I heard a rumor that somebody in town was trying to draft an ordinance for that. I don't know if that's a truth, if there's any truth to that rumor, but I'm going to ask that you consider that, possibly drafting an ordinance for TNR, because I think it will help everybody. I don't think it's going to cost the township money either. So just want to share that with you. Thank you very much.
James, I just want to respond before you leave the dais there. I know Mrs. Haynes as well, and it was probably when my first year, I started talking to them in my restaurant about the TNR ordinance. I can tell you this, that the team is working hard on drafting an ordinance very, very quickly. We're looking at it right now, and it should be very, very soon. So stay tuned.
Cool. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Oh, good evening, everyone. Da-da-da-dum. Just to let y'all know, y'all do have a request from our troop there to try to sell some flowers. Just to let y'all know, the reason we're going to start having a lot more fundraisers is next year is going to be the National Jamboree down in West Virginia. And when I went two or 3 years ago, it was about $2,000 per person to go down there. So the scouts are going to try to, add inflation, so you're probably going to look around 3,000 or so this year or next year to go. So that's why the scouts are going to probably start be doing a lot more fundraisers. So, and if anyone is interested in scouting, they can go to the beascout.org and put in the level of scouting they want, the zip code, and that'll tell them where the closest packs or troops are. All right. So that's basically about it. So I hopefully y'all will approve that, and I'll get the flyers out tonight. So, all right.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thanks.
Anybody else for public comment this evening?
I am Annalise, and I'm from Filbert. I just wanted to say on a little follow-up about scouting, and that this donations also helps with, like, besides Jamboree, also helps with funding for scouts to go on little trips that can help us learn and grow, learn new skills, and really just helps with our troop and our troop members, helps them to like learn new things, do more cool and fun stuff, and also recruit more members. And also another follow-up I want to do real quick is on TNR. TNR, Trap, Neuter, Release. It can also help with our little pest control. That not only does it control cat population, it also helps keep out pesky insects and mice. And it's free too, so can't go wrong with that. I know no one likes mice in their house. But that's all I wanted to say. I hope everyone has a great night, and thank you.
Thank you, you too.
Annalise, can I ask you how old you are? Can I ask how old you are?
Ask a lady.
I just got to tell you, I'm very impressed with the way you presented yourself up here. You even held eye contact with every one of us. Job well done. Well done.
Anybody else for public comment this evening? Okay, seeing none, we'll close that portion of the meeting out. And we're on to resolutions. Consent agenda, all items listed with an asterisk are considered to be routine by the Township Council, will be enacted by one motion. Should a council member wish to discuss a consent agenda item separately, that item can be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. Does any council members have any resolutions that they want to hear or discuss this evening?
Yes, Council President, I'd like to discuss 154, 2025, please.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. So we just need a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended to discuss 154-2025.
I'll second that. Sorry, Dan.
Mr. Bianchini?
Yes.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
Mr. Dewey?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
Yes. Mr. Harper, 154, 2025, you have the floor.
All right. I'm kind of sorry that some of our people weren't here tonight to talk about this, but 154, 2025, cross acceptance, I know it's something that we need to have done. And there's no bill for it. I don't even know what we're going to be charged for it. This is what we got today, or last week. All right. This is what we needed to get it approved through the county. I mean, if this was a high school project, and I turn this into one of my high school teachers, I think I'd get a failing grade, because it's so much fluff and filler in there. You know, that's why I say I don't know how much we're being charged for it, but I'm, really gonna scrutinize this, because, the only accurate information in the fluff and filler is something we already paid for when we paid for having the 5-year UEZ plan done. They, copied information out of that, and then some of the other information in there is so old. I'm only a 5-year resident of this town, and I know the information is not accurate and correct. I don't mind these professionals coming, getting paid for doing a project, but when they just want to fill it up with wasteful, I used to have a gym teacher who would give you a punishment assignment, 10,000 words on what it's like to live inside of basketball. That's what this reminds me of. It's useless information. We didn't need it. We needed the professional to do his job and get us the paperwork for the county, but we need to make sure it's done properly. And then one of the other things that's bothering me about this is that, again, we're paying him. He's a professional subcontractor. I know he had conflicts with our CD department, as far as community development people. He's working for them, he's working for us, and we need to make sure he realizes that. He needs to treat our people with the utmost of respect. He needs to treat us with a little more respect, because I know the 5 of us didn't need to sit up, home and read all this stuff. And I know we called one another, says, "Do you understand any of this?" It's 18-year-old information. You could go to statistics and get this information. So I'm going to be paying close attention to the professional and see what he does charge us for this. And, why give us 100 pages when we only needed 10? It's just my thought on this. I know we need this done. I know he had conflicts also with some of our other professionals. He's trying to overstep his boundaries. But we're going to keep an eye on these people, make sure that they're giving us what we ask for our money, and nothing less. We deserve the best, and nothing but the best. That's all I have to say. We need to approve this, but,
Councilman, just so I think the public's aware, you can tell me if I go wrong.
Go ahead.
There were 2 different resolutions that were prepared by the planner.
Right.
We're not approving the big one, we're approving the one that you,
The amended one that, our staff helped
that's correct.
correct it. Yeah,
That's right.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because there were so many errors in there. And, we deserve better from our professionals. And just because there's X number of dollars in the pot to do a project, don't mean you have to fill pages and pages to feel like you can charge us that amount, Right, yeah. No, but, that's what we originally got to look at, and if it wasn't for, us up here looking through it and getting, with community development and saying, what is this? Is this needed? This isn't correct, and getting it corrected, like I said, I'm waiting to see what the bill that comes in for this. We're going to scrutinize it carefully. That's all I have to say.
If I can add a couple things, I'm sure it's going to be a lot of money for copy, cut, and paste. The same individual, and I know this is going to ruffle some feathers, but I don't really care. The planning board and Dave Banish are working on the master plan for this township. And this same person should not have any input or influence in what we're doing with the planning board. I have a feeling that he shows up to meetings where he's not supposed to be, and then he gets a paycheck. I think that we really have to take a good look at this individual. He was hired to be a special planner, and all over the place. And, our town's not big enough for two planners. They banished our planner and planning board. That's all I got.
Hey, Danny, who controls the special planner?
I think it's probably our, do not for the mayor.
The dirty ponytail. Got it.
And also, I think if any bills that come across, I don't think they should be paid until we have all the documents of exactly what he did and who asked him to do it. Because it certainly didn't come from the council. That's all I got, guys.
What's before the council is the revised plan, which is not not really the one that Mr. Harper was speaking of, just so the public is aware of it.
All right, so we need a motion on 154, 2025.
I make a motion to approve Resolution 15425, 2025, the revised version.
I'll,
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
Mr. Dewey?
Yes.
Mr. Bianchini?
Yes.
Mr. Doyle?
yes.
Mr. Ward?
Yes. Okay, on the new business, number 8A, special use permit authorizes outdoor sale by BSA Troop 397 for the sale of Mother's Day flowers on camp cards at the Browns Mill Shopping Center parking lot on May 9th, 2025, from 5:30 to 8 p.m., and May 10th, 2025, from noon to 5 p.m.
I make
Yeah.
a motion.
I just, we had an added resolution, and don't we have to make a motion on that?
No, it was added.
Oh, it was
That
added
is-
prior? Okay.
Yeah,
all
we're
right.
good with that.
My fault, I'm sorry. Sorry to interrupt.
I make a motion that we approve new business 8A.
I'll second that.
I'd like to just add one thing to that. I think it's supposed to be at the old Dairy Queen parking lot area. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I think, I don't have a problem approving it, but I certainly think that the public works should go out there, being that there's gonna be a lot of people buying flowers, that there isn't any potholes. And I know there is a few out there, should be repaired in the event that somebody breaks an ankle or twists an ankle buying flowers on township property. So if you want to add that into it, you can, but I think safety should be number one. I have nothing against the Boy Scouts selling flowers. I just want to make sure it's safe for everybody that's in that parking lot.
We can take it up with Tom.
Okay?
Mr. Bianchini?
Yes.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
Mr. Dewey?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
Yes. New business B, approves firefighter relief association applications for Pemberton Township Fire Company for Charles J. Dell. Questions, comments, concerns, or motion?
I make a motion we approve new business 8B.
Second?
Mr. Bianchini?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mr. Dewey?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
Yes. On to number 9, the approval by council required for payment of vouchers on bill list dated 5/1/2025. I'm going to start off, if you guys don't mind.
Please do.
Okay. So, and this will be, well, one of the, yeah. I got a really big problem with the person that's not here this evening. And it's business, it's not personal. When you refuse to pay employees of the township for work that they're conducting on the township's time, and the council passed an ordinance to pay said employees, then council is going to take issue with that for several different issues. and I'm specifically speaking, and I won't speak of any names, but the Community Development Office and the two people that are trying to put together an affordable housing plan that takes care of community members in this township, and you refuse to pay those employees, Mr. Mayor, when council approved it. Council approves the payment of all vouchers in the township, not you. So just so everybody knows, everybody that's waiting for an affordable housing payment in this township that is now being held up is being held up by the mayor, not council.
Ladies and gentlemen, just to be clear, this is money sitting in an account, waiting to be distributed to all of you to help improve your homes, your lifestyle, and everything. As far as a business owner goes, when an employee works 40 hours, they're compensated by their salary. When they work above and beyond that, state law mandates you pay them overtime, or you pay a stipend for the additional work they're going to do. These two employees have agreed to work diligently at these jobs to get this money that's sitting in an account out to you to be used by you for your homes. We are able to pay these individuals with this money so that it doesn't cost the taxpayers any extra money out of your pockets to pay these employees to get this money to you. And this is the money that's being refused to be given to these employees. It's not costing you an extra dollar in your taxes to pay these people. We are allowed to use the money, correct me if I'm wrong, sir. We're allowed to use a percentage of this money to compensate these employees for getting this money to you, and they are still being refused their compensation. That's a slap in the face to the residents. And the fact that the man can't even show up here to answer questions that I'm sure you would have for him in regard to this is another slap in the residents' faces.
This is the same person, the buffoon that usually sits over there, and it is personal for me, Josh, not just business, because it's affecting the residents, the people that rely on us to represent them, so it's personal. We have spent over $100,000 in legal fees on this man. Over $100,000.
That's this year alone.
And that's for the 5 lawsuits, not to include the 6th one and the 7th one that we're going to be seeing pretty soon. Yes, the 7th lawsuit we're going to see. It makes me pretty damn angry. And it should make you angry too, because it's impacting our entire township.
I mean, and not only did he choose not to pay, he's not paying, certain people he's paying on that same resolution, and certain people, for whatever reason, he decided not to pay. You know, I mean, as I told the solicitor earlier, it's borders on criminal acts. I mean, I can't believe that we can't get any help from the governor's office, the state attorney general's office. You know, they just turn a blind eye to this. You know, I guess it's an election year. Nobody wants to get involved. Yeah, it's ridiculous. And as yeah, Josh and everybody else said, these are hardworking people. You know, I mean, they deserve to get paid for it. And you know, after a while, the money, you know, the money will revert back to the state if we don't use it in a timely fashion. You know, and on other issues that have come up, these, you know, most of these people, you know, inside this building and in other departments, they work their butts off. I mean, they try to find ways, there's monies that, you know, he's would let go because he didn't do work in a timely manner. And they try to find ways to use the money so that we don't have to raise your taxes and stuff. You know, these same department heads and all, they get together and say, you know, here's a grant, you know, we can use this for other things because, you know, administration isn't working to use it in a timely manner. It's a shame. Yeah.
To be clear on one more thing, the township, you people pay Mr. Dasty significant fees to do the things that are required so that we can do the things that you want us up here to do. Yet unfortunately, again, this month, $3,500 of your tax dollars has to be spent on Mr. Dasty to fight litigation that's already against this township. And Mr. Dasty, I'm going to ask you a question. By him refusing to make these payments and authorizing it for the employees, I mean, does that potentially open us up to yet more litigation? If you can answer that?
Well, little bit of history lesson. The money we're talking about is the affordable housing money, which was not tax money. It was monies paid by developers throughout the years. By law, they would have to pay a percentage of the assessed value of what they were building, and that's what's in the fund. We have found that you have about $1.5 million in there. And over the next 10 years, it is estimated that you will have another $1.5 million, because there are some projects in the pipeline, and this is 10-year things. The COLA requirements or affordable housing requirements are every 10 years. So now we're from 25 to 35. So we have already sitting in the bank $1.5 million, and we estimate that we will have over the next 10 years a similar amount, just because of hopefully the progression in the future that happens over the next 10 years, and the developers have to pay these same type of fees, none of which are taxpayer funds. The law requires that 20% of those funds be used for administration, professional planner fees, my fees, and the fees for the required, and these people are required by the COA regulations, liaison and an administrative agent, I think it is. The council has appointed those two people as the liaison and as the administrative agent to handle these funds. Now, I think you know that we're about to have, and there'll be enough notice put out, we're going to have a public forum explaining to the public what these funds are about, how you can be eligible for them. We estimate that now, for the houses that need to be rehabbed, for people who qualify, there could be almost $20,000 per house. And generally speaking, that payment, whatever it is secured by a note, which is a 10-year loan. If you live in that house for the 10 years, and you don't sell the house, the loan goes away. It's done. If you sell the house in 5 years, half of the loan goes away, and it's pro rata. So that's what, and as you can imagine, with government funds, there's paperwork involved. So that's what these people have been appointed by the council to do. It is not what they signed up for. It's new stuff, and you can imagine the amount of people who will want to be filing these types of forms. And these are the people who are going to have to process them over and above what they normally do and over above the hours that they normally spend here. So that's what we're talking about. And at this point, I'm not sure how yet, but those payments have not been approved. No, I shouldn't say approved. They don't get approved. Those payments have not been sent to the CFO for processing, those vouchers, which were approved by the council. Per our ordinance, per our statute, the council appoints the people and indicates the amount of the compensation. And that's in the ordinance we adopted 2 or 3 meetings ago. We have, as we sit here, 20% of about $1.5 million. We have $300,000, which I can't imagine we're going to use that kind of money. But that's the kind of money that is not taxpayer funds, which is to be used for administrative expenses to process all of this for the benefit of the town. And at this point, those people who have been appointed by us, who have been told what their compensation would be for the extra work, and as far as I know, they're doing the work, they ain't getting paid. So that's where we are. That's why it's not on the bill list, and that's why I presume the council brought it up when the bill list was on the agenda to be voted upon.
Anybody have anything else for the bill list?
Go ahead, Danny.
On the bill list, there is thousands and thousands of dollars of ARH.
Almost 30,000, Danny.
I'm sorry?
Almost 30,000. I was asked the same question.
Okay. And some of them are as late as April. billing that they're big enough. Number one, I don't wanna pay them until we have all the backup, what they did, and who called them.
Yeah, Danny, on a couple of them, I can give you answers to. There's bills for West End. Water, that's supposed to be paid through escrow that we have from K-Hub Navian. There's a $660 one in there for tax maps. I believe that one's, Roe said that one was done. The ones on the first page, I'm not sure of. Some of those were from meetings where actually they represented of Navian at planning board meetings, so I'm not sure if we should be paying those or not, so.
And even the ones with the Greenberg, right?
Well, the Greenberg ones, they put money in an escrow, and then we take out of that escrow to pay them. That was,
I know how it works, Harry, but I wanna make sure
Yeah.
that the money is in escrow where it doesn't cost the township and the taxpayers for a developer.
I think until we're 100% positive that we've received everything, we don't pay them anything for any of the projects, escrow or not.
okay.
And why should it be, some of the things I believe were from last year? If I'm correct, I could be wrong in that.
Yeah, on the first,
Either or.
on the
Yeah.
first page, there's, three different things last year.
As of January, they don't work for us anymore.
Well, they still are on a couple projects
Yeah, they had
for
to
us.
finish up a couple.
Yeah,
Yeah, like the water garden.
Yeah, it would have cost us too much to convert.
$35,000 grant.
yeah. Well, they're working on the 3 New Lisbon projects, so, I mean, yeah. I mean,
They should be, they get them off if we got other engineers.
no, we pre-agreed to let them do that because it was going to cost us more if we started over. So we have to pay them on, I believe we assigned them 3 projects to finish up, so.
If they wanna get paid, we want the backup.
I talked to Roe and Tom McNaughton, and they said they've gotten everything they were supposed to get. Now, I don't know, like I said, as far as stuff for planning board, I don't know, yeah, so.
If that's the case, have the department heads send us a note or something saying it's legit. Before we write a check, I wanna make sure it's legit. It's the same company.
Okay.
We paid and testified against us.
All right, so you want something in writing from each department head, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay,
I wanna make sure it's all legit,
okay, I got you,
that's all.
yeah,
That's all I got.
okay. And, yeah, the only other thing I just wanted to make note, last meeting, we held off on paying an individual for mileage because we weren't sure what was going on. I was, that's back on page 19 again, and I was told that was straightened out, and this will be the last mileage that person gets. Yep, yep,
Township vehicles.
yep.
We just can't see things written on the bill list without knowing what it is and have the facts.
Okay, I understand you, Danny.
We could spend 2 hours on this bill list.
Yeah, well, I've been looking in it about
You could spend 2 hours on the bill
4 or
list.
5 different times over the last 4 days, I know that. All right, so let me see if I can make this work. A motion to approve the bill list, taking out ARH bills until we receive in writing from each department head that they have received all their end results.
I'll second.
Harry, it's like hydroseeding. One says we did it, one said we didn't do it.
Yeah, I know.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
Mr. Bianchini?
Yes.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mr. Dewey?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
No. Okay, do we have a solicitor's report or mayor's report?
Just a couple of minor or I don't know what minor, but a couple of things, Mayor, Council President. We were authorized and directed to file suit against our former business administrator, Mr. Wright, for the 3 weeks or so that he was here, and asked the judge for a temporary restraining order so that he would stop coming to the building and stop, in my words, harassing a lot of the township employees, telling them that he's firing them. And last time on Facebook, there was some very disturbing things about shooting. We filed the complaint, and the order to show cause is going to be heard tomorrow by the judge. So hopefully the judge will approve the temporary restraints, and we'll let everyone know. In the meantime, we have sent copies of all of those documents to all of the employees of the town, because a few of them were understandably looking over their shoulder, a little worried. I noticed that the dry cleaning people left. We anticipate closing and selling the shopping center area to New Horizons, the buyer, within the next 30 days. So, and the last thing is, we adopted an ordinance last meeting to allow for agricultural uses in a certain zone, which all deals with the Kramer farm. There will no longer be warehouses on that property. It's going to be a farm preserved forever. We've adopted an ordinance on first reading. The procedure is it goes to the planning board, which I guess it's before them now. They have a meeting next week or so. And then assuming that they are in favor of that ordinance, it comes back to us for second and final reading. My thought is that we should have it resolved before the end of May, because we have one more meeting this month. That's what I have.
Thank you, sir. Okay, no mayor or business administrator this evening because the seats are empty. Council member comments. So if you guys don't mind, I'm going to start in the center tonight, and then we'll go through. Just wanted everybody to let everybody know again, the mayor is in violation of New Jersey statute because council still has not received a budget. It's been 30 days past. So Marty, just guess what? Just so everybody knows, if we don't get a budget soon, we might not have a water carnival. I'm hoping not, but I hope we get a budget, and I hope we get it approved. Number two, we still have not received a salary ordinance for 2025. We're halfway through the year. I wish I could sit up here as council president and have good news for everybody. I really do, every single meeting. But this is getting ridiculous. Some good news, I want to say I did attend a watch party that was held by the Browns Mills Improvement Association for Birmingham. It was very well received. Everybody there, Alex, thank you for being there and doing what you did there. Marty, thank you for being there. And please tell Paulie, thank you for putting that all together. I saw Chris and his brother at the restaurant this week from the gun shop, and we were talking about it, so they come into my restaurant all the time, so that was fantastic. I hope everybody has a great Mother's Day. And that's all I have this evening, so whoever wants to go after that is fine by me.
Go ahead, Danny.
Jerry, I'd like to ask you a question for help. That screw up on Lakehurst Road in 70, could we get somebody from the State Department of Transportation and perhaps meet with the council, go out there on a field trip, and so they can explain what the hell they did there? Somebody's gonna get killed there. And for months, at least every meeting, there's somebody complaining about it. Somebody's gonna get killed.
Yeah. Kelly McBride is the head engineer for the state out there. I've talked to him, and he keeps promising to look at things, but haven't heard anything.
Councilman, I'll look into it tomorrow, sir.
Yeah, no problem.
I'll get back to you.
I appreciate it, Jerry. I hate to put you on the spot.
That's right. No problem.
I can't see who's there, but I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. Happy Mother's Day. And we'll see you hopefully at the next meeting. Thank you. Have a good night.
Go for it.
Harry, nobody follows Danny but you.
All right, okay. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate everybody coming out. As you see, we're still in the same situation. Nobody's sitting over on the far side. Yeah, I do want to say, all the employees here are doing their best. They're working shorthanded. Like I said, I was at a couple staff meetings. They're trying to come up with solutions without the help that they need. You know, like I said, you know, making sure that funds don't get lost and the township gets the most out of them. So, you know, I got to give kudos to all the staff here. You know, they're doing a great job, you know, and they're working under less than ideal situation there, you know, to say the least. You know, hit a little more on what Josh said, there's no salary ordinance, so people that, you know, should be having their annual raises aren't getting their annual raises. I understand there's a contract that should have been in negotiations by now that's not going on, you know, and yet we're, you know, left in the lurch with no explanations, you know. I arrived here today with Matt, and the mayor was leaving as we were coming in, and he just smirked and said, "You guys have a nice night." You know, that's his attitude about things, you know. I don't know. We're going to keep trying to do the things we need. I know Jerry just said about moving forward with New Horizon, but again, Mr. Ellie's daughter and son-in-law left already, but, you know, I'm going to tell you, you know, they're going to sue if June 1st we say get out, and that project's going to be tied up. And, you know, again, not to rain on anybody's parade, but New Horizons liable to bail out if they get held up, and it's nobody's fault but the mayor's. You know, he could have negotiated a deal, you know, with Mr. Ellie over 6 months ago. You know, and you know, we'd not only had a couple $100,000 in our general fund to help pay lawsuits, but, you know, we'd had a refurbished building on the main drag and somebody paying taxes. It's just little things like that. I mean, yeah, he just doesn't care, you know. But we're going to do everything we can. On a lighter note, again, happy Mother's Day. Upcoming June 7th, there's going to be the annual fishing derby for the children. You know, you can register online with the Parks and Recs Department or in person. I heard they had 120-some children out there last year. Hopefully we'll get that many out there or some more, you know. We need some good things happening in this town, you know. Everybody have a nice night. We're going to keep fighting, yeah, for all of you, and we're going to do the best we can with the tools we have. Thank you.
Okay, first of all, I do want to say Happy Mother's Day to everyone. Hope it's a peaceful, happy one. You enjoy yourself with your family. Second of all, the amount of transparency that we're trying to provide to everybody, it always seems like we're providing you with negative information. Unfortunately, if we're going to be transparent and we're going to give you everything there is to give you, it's just not positive right now. It's not. Money sitting in an account waiting to be distributed to you guys upon approval and not making the payments is more disrespect to our employees. The number of lawsuits against this town right now that we are fighting desperately to handle is embarrassing. It is the lack of respect for our employees. As Josh said, you know, these as an employee, you wait for your annual salary increase. That's the way we tell you from what we see over the past year. You're doing a good job. Job well done. We're not able to do that for our employees. And by us providing that information to you shows you that we're not the quote-unquote bad guys here. We'd love to approve it. All you got to do is put it in front of us. The amount of disrespect that's been shown to our employees is hurting this town. My biggest concern that nobody's thinking about, we've got contracts expiring this year with employees. I'm not sure if AFSCME, but I believe, from what I recall, I think the PBA, our police department, I believe their contract expires this year. And I am very, very concerned about the lack of respect that's been given to the people in the building here. And I can tell you, if that transcends, right now, we're down 10 police officers still. I am very, very concerned how many will be down if we don't get up and show our men how much we appreciate them. I'm sorry, the fact that we continue to harp on bad news, I wish there was good news, but the one thing I am very appreciative of is, it seems like what we're hearing, and what Valerie said when she came up, we appreciate the trust. We are doing everything we can that you guys asked us to do. This crime reform is huge. This is the first big step of what you guys put us here for. Preservation. This is huge. The only other thing I'll say on that is, everybody knows that North Pemberton Road was closed, and it's been open at night now with the repaving. The only thing that concerns me about it, great job, is, but I don't know if anybody's noticed, if you've come down it, that eastbound lane is significantly wider. Significantly wider. That's the first thing I noticed when I turned off at 206. I said, wow, there's no more grass on the right shoulder. It is going to be paved telephone pole to telephone pole. And as far as I'm concerned, that's just concerning to me. It was a perfectly good road. Why is it wider now? Hope everybody has a good night.
Well, I think we've had enough negative, but I will tell you, I come to the township building on off nights sometimes when I have the Veterans Advisory Committee meetings. And the employees that we're referencing, that their stipends are being withheld, they are here till well after 4:30, because I don't get here till 5 o'clock. That's the above and beyond. And it's not right. And if Tompkins is listening, resign already, will you? Your employees don't want you here. The people don't want you in that seat anymore. Just go away. On a lighter note, the Economic and Business Development Council had their first 2 meetings, right, Marie? 2? I made the first one, I make the second one. A lot of great ideas. A great team put together. And another thing, when it comes to these committees, they are open to the public. If you want to come to a meeting, look on the website, find out where and when, and show up. If you have an idea, it's welcome. But we're hitting the ground running with that council. We've got a great team and a lot of great ideas. So stay tuned for that. The Memorial Day Parade and ceremony, that's been an all-hands-on-deck event. The outpouring of support from the community has been unbelievable. I'm getting emails every day from different people. What can I do? What can I do? I have a son that needs community hours. Can you help me out? It's been wonderful. And it's going to be a great event. The parade, we're not going to have enough room to set up in the parking lots behind the school, behind Stackhouse. That's how many people we have that are signed up to march in this parade right now. So get ready. It's going to be a great event. If you do want to volunteer, please reach out to me at my township email address. It's on the website. Just go there for it. Reach out to me. Let me know if you're available. I'm sure we can find you something to do. That's all I have. Happy Mother's Day. Have a great night, and thank you for still supporting us. We know it's not easy right now. It's a lot of bad stuff going on, but I promise you, it'll get better. Thank you.
So we just need a motion to adjourn the meeting, please.
Motion adjourned.